来呢，我们邀请到的是来自美国的 David Allan， 同时邀请上的是中美创新协会的副会长王璐来担任他的翻译。有请 David。其实刚才我在门口的时候看到 David 在做那个功夫熊的按摩，也想问您一下感受怎么样？
非常好，谢谢各位，谢谢。大家还有精神吗？有没有？我最后有一个视频。对，我本来要用中文演讲，但是我请我中国的 team 帮我出一个中文版，但是问题是我发现太难了，我讲不出来，所以还是有录我讲英文，他讲中文。OK， 我用这个都。
Yihao, please cut my presentation.
好，我们开始。
Let's go.
Okay. So, if you're like me, the more you try to learn about the Internet of Things, the more confusing it gets.
如果你像我一样，越学习物联网越觉得困惑。
You see a lot of big numbers like these. A lot of charts like this packed full of information.
看很多非常大的数据，像这些，还有很多表格填满了所有的很多的信息。
对，you've got the connected home.
现在有了互联的家。
Connected car.
互联在一起的汽车。
Connected person.
互联的人。
And even the connected cow.
还有连这个牛也可以互联在一起。
It's kind of like the internet in the 1990s. Everybody agrees it's going to be huge, but it's hard to tell what form it's going to take and who are going to be the losers.
就像90年代的网络，现在大家知道它会发展非常大，但是很难知道谁胜谁败到最后。
Right. So these are the losers here, and these are the big winners.
你刚才是输的，现在是赢的，再来看一看。
Yet the Internet of Things is even stranger than the early web because at the same time as being really, really vague, it's also incredibly complex.
所以这个物联网比早期的互联网更奇怪，真是很模糊，也很复杂。
Take, for example, bus and connectivity standards. You've got I2C, I3C, SPI, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee, MQTT, LoRa 6, LoWPAN, Weightless, Insteon, NIVIS, IEEE 4051, and that's just to name a few.
就像那个接口，刚才 David 提的这些接口标准，大家也觉得非常 confusing.
Yet we can't just dismiss IoT as a vague and confusing mishmash of stuff.
但是我们不能把这个物联网变成一个模糊和混乱的事情。
In fact, I argue just the opposite. I argue that we're entering a second machine age that will transform our world, and we're barely beginning to see the changes that are coming.
实际上我的想法正好相反。我认为我们将进入改变世界的第二机器时代。我也认为这个复杂只是一种错觉。你可以把所有混乱的东西归结为我们。且只有两个主要的潮流。
But first, before we talk about the second machine age, we need to agree on what we mean by the first machine age.
那当然，在谈第二机器时代以前，要先知道什么是第一机器时代。
And by machine age, I really should say the first modern machine age, because I'm not going back to the Industrial Revolution or the invention of the steam engine or really primitive machines like that.
我们指的不是过去的工业革命，或者蒸汽机等简单机器的发明，讲的现代第一时期机器时代，是指我们周围的机器成为我们所知道的现在的形式的时候作为开始。
And I would argue that that year was 1945.
这个开始的时候呢是1945年。
At the close of World War II, the machines of today had already taken on their modern forms.
就是在2次大战结束后，我们现在所看的机器的形式已经存在了。
If you go back any further than that, you see machines that look like this.
你如果再往前走的话，在历史上你们所看到古老的机器就是这样子的。
But by 1945, you start to see this.
1945年以后，你们看到现代型这个机器。
And this.
这样子的。
And this.
这样子的。
And the telephone.
还有电话。
And even this, the first computer.
甚至这是第一台电脑。
So in a way, the world we have around us today is strangely old.
所以从某种程度上讲，我们现在周围的世界是有点老态龙钟了，已经。
So for decades after World War II, no fundamentally new machines were invented. No new forms of energy, no new forms of transportation, and no really new methods of computation.
二战以后的几十年，其实并没有本质上的新的机器的发明，也没有新的能源，没有新的交通工具，也没有真的新的电脑的计算逻辑。
Computers have continuously scaled up, but the fundamental model of computing didn't change.
所以呢，电脑的速度是越来越快，但是它计算的方法是没有改变的。
And thanks to Moore's law, our computing problems can be solved by applying more and more density, more and more power to the same basic von Neumann model of sequential computing.
在摩尔定律和诺伊曼原理的框架内，我们运算中的问题根据计算机里越来越密的晶体管和越来越多的耗电的能力得以解决。
And this is John von Neumann.
对，这是1945年 von Neumann 为他的名字叫 von Neumann。I
think. And this is the paper that he wrote for the U.S. military in 1945.
这是他在1945年为美国军队所写的论文。
And which describes the stored program computer, the same basic architecture still in use today.
他这个文章描述了怎么样用程序存储计算机这个格式，到现在还在运用。
And since 1945, we've been speeding up our computers year on year by faster clocks, deeper pipelines, superscalar architectures, and similar techniques to get more and more power from the same model.
在1945年以后，我们每年都在这个3个方法让我们的计算机的处理速度更加快，还有其他一些类似的技术用旧的原理产生新的能量。很多人都在谈论并行处理，但并没有实现。
But still, everything seemed to be going along just fine until one little problem started to worry us.
但是一切看起来是没有问题的，但是直到一个非常大的麻烦的出现，就是摩尔定律是不会停止的。
Right, and these words you see here, they strike fear into those of us who depend on semiconductors for a living. The idea that the party's coming to an end. But the great news is, the party's not coming to an end. In fact, it's just begun.
好消息是还没有结束的时候，事实上一切才刚刚开始。
Because in the second machine age, Moore's law doesn't matter. That's right, Moore's law is a problem of the first machine age. It won't be a problem for the second.
因为这个在第二机器时代，摩尔定律是无关紧要的。对，摩尔定律对第一机器时代来说是个麻烦事，但是对第二机器时代却不是。
And why is that? One word, MapReduce.
为什么呢？大家请看这个词叫 MapReduce。
And I said there was two fundamental forces driving us into the second machine age, and this is the first one, the rise of distributed computing.
所以刚才David 提到过，就是有2股力量把我们推进第二机器时代，其中第一个就是分布式计算的兴起。
And it all goes back to 2004 when Google published this paper.
在2004年，谷歌发表的这篇论文是这个分布式计算的开始。
MapReduce and its open source version called Apache Hadoop allow you to take a huge data set, like maybe the entire internet, and process it on thousands or even millions of nodes, those are the mappers, and then take that result and send it to the reducer nodes to give you the final result.
MapReduce， 我想跟大家说，这个好像没有中文的翻译。MapReduce 源码版本叫做 Apache Hadoop， 允许你像一个很庞大的数据集比如说整个互联网，在成千上万个甚至数以百万计的节点上进行处理。这些节点也就是映射器，然后 输入信号并发送减速节点来显示最终结果。这个我想稍微解释一下，说起来这个很绕口。意思就是把你的计算分成小块，然后把最后的结果再重新综合，就是这么解释。
谢谢。Now, why is this so important? 为什么很重要 right? 为什么有那么重要
Why is it so important?
Right. Because the individual machines don't need to be powerful. There just needs to be a lot of them.
所以这为什么重要？是因为这个每个单独的机器不需要非常复杂，但是需要很多这样的机器。
The individual machines don't need to be reliable. In fact, they can fail regularly.
而且你单独的机器也不用耐用，坏了以后可以用其他的机器来马上替代。
And you move the processing to the data. Like with a supercomputer, you have processing nodes and storage nodes all joined together by high-capacity interconnect. But with MapReduce, you don't need faster and faster interconnect and faster storage because you move processing to the data.
而且你是将数据处理一项数据，你拥有一台超级计算机，你就拥有通过高容量连接器连接在一起的节点处理和储存节点，处理节点和储存节点。有 MapReduce 的话，你就不需要高速连接器和高速存储，你可以将处理移到跟数据更接近的地方。
And there's another limitation you don't need to worry about, and that's the physical limitations of storage devices. Read heads can only move so fast, and platters can only spin so quickly. But with MapReduce, you don't need fast random access because a MapReduce job is really a long streaming operation that requires only sequential access, which is already an order of magnitude faster.
还有一个限制是你不必担心的，就是你的存储设备的物理上的限制。你的读取磁头和盘的运用速度是有限的，但是 MapReduce 的话，你就不需要随机存取了。MapReduce 一个任务很大程度上是长时间的流操作，只需要按去存储，而按去存储本身就快了一个数量级，所以你不需要面临传统的限制。
And you can see that clock speeds are already leveling off.
所以你看，我们的电脑的中心处理器的时钟速度已经持平了，不会再往上很快的发展。
And so are transistor counts.
我们的那个晶体的管数也是一样。
But it doesn't matter when you can get supercomputer performance from commodity hardware. When the number of computers matters more than the power of each individual computer, Moore's law is no longer a constraint.
但是其实这现在已经无关紧要了，因为你在商用硬件上想要得到超级计算机的速度和性能，只要你多买计算机就好了，已经不受摩尔定律的限制。
So distributed computing, that's the first megaforce delivering us into this new era. And what is the second one? It is sensors.
所以分布式计算是我们带入新纪元的第一个超级的力量。第二个超级力量是什么呢？那就是传感器。
A better description for Internet of Things would really be wireless sensor networks connected to the cloud.
所以对这个物联网更好的介绍或者描述，实际上是连接到云的无线传感网络。
The second machine age is defined by cheap and ubiquitous sensors.
所以第二个机器时代可以被定义为是便宜而且无处不在的传感器。
And the technology that enabled these cheap miniature sensors is MEMS.
所以使得这些便宜的迷你传感器和推动器成为可能的科技，当然是 MEMS。
So what was the breakthrough moment for MEMS? What was the single breakthrough that allowed us to produce these tiny machines, the silicon with moving parts?
那到底是什么样的突破使我们能制造这样的微型的机器呢？让带移动部件的硅片呢？
Well, it's all down to the Bosch process invented by Dr. Franz Lehmer for deep reactive ion etching, which Bosch licensed to other companies.
其实这都是归功于这个 Franz Lehmer 博士发明了深反应离子刻蚀博士过程，由博士公司授权其他公司使用。
And DRIE allows you to etch deep trenches into silicon with incredible structural precision.
这深反应离子刻蚀技术让我们在硅片表面进行结构精确度极高的刻蚀。
and it works like this, which is a fancy way of saying that it does this.
这个就是这个实际上工作原理就是这样子，也就是这个可以看到的这个方法来测试。
So thanks to DRIE, MEMS went from a pretty obscure technology to the present day when a typical smartphone might have 15 kinds of MEMS sensors.
多亏这种深反应离子技术 ，MEMS 才能从一种相当深奥的技术变成现在这个样子。一般的智能手机可以有15个 MEMS 传感器。
So, what can we expect from our new machines, the machines of the second machine age?
那我们可以对我们的新机器，这个第二机器时代机器有什么样的期待呢？
I think to answer that question, we first need to ask ourselves, what was accomplished by the machines of the first machine age?
所以回答这个问题以前，我们首先要问自己：那我们第一机器时代的机器取得了什么成绩呢？这些机器真正为我们人类做些什么呢？
What did these machines really do for us? Well, these machines gave us tremendous power. Power over our environment, power over each other. They gave us convenience and they gave us basic security.
所以这个第一机器时代机器给我们强大的力量，使我们不仅能够驾驭环境，还能驾驭他人。它也给我们带来了便利，也给我们基本的安全感。
And in fact, in the early years of the first machine age, futurists of the time, like George Orwell, worried that we were heading towards a dark, totalitarian future.
在第一时代的初期，第一机器时代初期，当时的未来主义者 George Orwell， 他们担心我们将走向黑暗的极权主义的未来。
And in fact, our machines probably did come close to destroying us.
事实上，我们的机器那时候真可能快要毁灭人类了。
But even though the world in the future will face crises of some kind or other, few people seriously predict another global conflict like the one that ended in 1945.
但是尽管世界将会面临这样或者那样的危机，很少人预测会再出现1945年结束的那场全球冲突。
The destructive power of those first-era machines is so great, we never need to use it again.
那第一机器时代的机器拥有如此强大的毁灭性的力量，永远都不需要，也不想再次将它释放出来。
So the first and second machine ages will be very different from each other. Maybe one day there'll be a third machine age that'll be similar in some ways to the first one, an era that will bring us new forms of energy, new forms of transportation, perhaps even power to create life itself. But the second machine age will be very different.
所以第一机器时代和第二机器时代会存在很大的不同。可能将来会有进入跟第一机器时代某些方面相似的第三机器时代，它会给我们带来新型能源、新的交通方式。或许还有创造生命的能力，但是第二机器时代会不一样。
It will be an era that brings us into intimate relationship with our machines in ways that augment human desires.
这个将是一个会使我们和机器的关系变得更为亲密的时代，能够增强人类的欲望。
So to foresee what these machines might be like, we first need to ask ourselves, just what are those human desires as yet unfulfilled? Desires you can afford to have once your security is fairly assured.
所以呢，要预测这些机器的样子呢，我们就要问自己，有哪些人类的欲望还没有得到满足？这些欲望是你有能力实现的，只要你的安全得到保障。
So here are a few big ones. Immortality, the desire that your body sustain its function indefinitely.
我给大家提出一些大的，大家都有的愿望。第一个是长生不老，就是希望人体能够无限期的工作下去。
Omniscience, the desire to possess all knowledge.
还有全知，就无所不知，掌握所有可以知道的知识。
Telepathy, the desire to inhabit the minds of others and to allow others access into our minds.
心灵感应，希望能够读到别人的情绪，也能让别人进入自己的思想。
Teleportation, to move in and out of other places and worlds unconstrained by physical boundaries.
瞬间转移，能够畅通无阻地进入其他的地方和世界。
And at this point, we're just starting to see glimpses of how these desires might one day be fulfilled. And here are just a few of those glimpses.
现在我们刚开始隐约的可以看到这些欲望在某天可以实现，这里有一些隐约的闪现。
So immortality, devices that monitor our health and compare our data to millions of other people, bring us a little closer to that promise of life extension.
长生不老能够检测我们的身体健康状况，将我们的数据和其他人来比较，让我们向长生不老更迈进了一步。
All knowledge accessible to you, anywhere, anytime, omniscience.
所有的知识都是可以获取的，在任何时间、任何地点，全知。
Telepathy, the window we have into the lives of others and their stream of thoughts. And as you can see, the smartphone plays a central role in these systems, and it is the first true product of the second machine age.
心灵感应，我们可以看